Center. I would like to welcome you all to IQAC initiated UGC Stride sponsored 5-day virtual workshop on research problem identification and data interpretation, day 2. Please note, use headphones for better audio. If you have any disconnectivity problem, please join with the same link. I, Yashaswini, student of KLE Societies, yes, Nijlingappa College, Department of PG Studies in Commerce and Research Center. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to today's informative workshop on research problem identification and data interpretation, day 2. I would like to welcome our resource person for today's workshop. My cordial welcome to Mr. Darshan D. Ranganath. It's proud to have you in the workshop, sir. My cordial welcome to our respected principal, Dr. Arun Kumar B. Sonappan, our sir. It's proud to have you in the workshop, sir. I would like to welcome our IQAC and MCOM coordinator, Dr. Srimati Mahananda B. Chittavadagi, ma'am. I welcome you, ma'am. I would like to welcome Dr. C.V. Koppat, sir, HOD, Department of Commerce, and all the faculty members. A cheerful welcome to all the delegates present in today's workshop. Once again, a very warm welcome to one and all. Here is a brief profile about the resource person. Mr. Darshan is presently working as a lecturer in KLE Independent PU College, Nagarbavi, Bangalore. He is appointed as a Commerce Coordinator. While pursuing his final year MCOM, he was nominated for the Best Boy Award. Mr. Darshan has presented research paper on Financial and Technical Assistance for Skill Development of Indian Youth, a study of foreign select agencies at MLA College in the year 2018, and also presented research paper on merger of SBI and its associates at KLE Societies, yes, Nijlingappa College in the year 2018. Once again, I welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for the welcome, Yashaswini. So, once again, good afternoon, Kitu sir. Good afternoon, Mahanandama and Honorable Principal sir. And I thank you all for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to share what are the problems that I identified while doing my project when I was studying in PG. So I think both my video and audio is visible to all the members here. Yes, right. So I'm just using the board to explain. So I would like to share my experience. So what sort of experience did I pursue when I was doing the project named Use of FASTag Promoting Towards Cashless Economy, a study on Select Toll Plaza Bank. So here, dear friends, so research project, right? So at the final cell of your PG, you need to do a project. It's for 200 marks. So it's very important to analyze and study what are the steps required. Okay, what are the steps required to ongo the project. So first, let us understand what is this research project. As you all know, friends, research is a word specified searching it again, right? Searching it again. So what is the simple meaning of project? Simple meaning of project is the task done, okay, in a sequence manner to attain an output, right? It is a task done in sequence to attain an output. So I hope my audio and video is clear, right, sir? It is, sir. So no problem. Is it clear, sir? My audio and video.
Yes, sir, no problem. But sometimes it take too much of time for booting. I think the little bit less in the bandwidth.
My voice is clear, sir?
It's clear only.
Sir.
I think the bandwidth is a little bit less. Which is the device you are using, laptop or?
So voice is less, sir, in internet bandwidth.
Okay, okay. You can continue.
Sir?
You can continue, no problem.
Okay. So, firstly, I welcome all the students and staff members. So, project, yes, is a task done in a sequence manner to attain some output. So, students, here, the word sequence is very, very important. So, what is sequence? Sequence is nothing but what are the steps taken. So, all the PG students, when they are starting their project, they have a doubt how to start their project. That's a big question. Right? How to start the project? What is the step? What is the first step to start the project? So when I was a student and at my fourth sem, and construct the project. So students, what probably the students do? Okay, most of the students, what will they do? They will take the projects of the senior students. Okay, first they will decide, yes, we need to do introduction chapter. Next, we need to go to review of literature. Next, we need to go to industrial profile, data interpretation, and the last one is finding suggestion. No students, that is wrong. Okay, each and everyone, first while starting the project, you need to identify the problem. Okay, you need to identify the problem. So this problem, when you identify the problem, your project, the task, the sequence, the output, this output has to provide the solution, or we can call it as suggestion. So now students, how to identify the problem and how to find a solution to this problem? That is the big question. So first, whatever the area you are going to select, you need to identify the problem. So friends, here, when coming to our economics, okay, an economist, okay, who studies economics, who is taking economic decisions, or who is framing the economic policies, first identifies economic problem. Then finds a solution for this economic problem, which is called as economic policy. Economic policy. So now the question is, how would we identify this economic problem? So how to identify this economic problem is the big question. So students, economic fact. Okay, so we came to know that in second wave the COVID cases are being increasing. Yes, it is an economic fact. It's a fact. What is fact, students? It's true. It's happening. It's a thing which is happening. So this economic fact can be converted into economic data, right? Economic fact can be converted into economic data with the help of statistics. Okay, friends. Economic fact can be converted into economic data with using statistics. Statistics is a branch of mathematics. So students, here, while you are constructing a project, when you are starting your project, you need to have a basic terminology, a basic idea about statistics. So without statistics, it is very much difficult to convert an economic fact into economic data. So friends, here, our economists, while framing an economic policy, the cycle goes on like this, students. First, they will find out the economic fact. Using statistics, economic fact will be converted into economic data. So the economic data is the economists will find an economic problem. Yes, friends. From economic data, we can find out an economic problem. So for this economic problem, there will be a policy intimated by an economist, that is economic policy. Again, our major economic policy is being classified into two policies, that is fiscal policy and the other one is monetary policy. So as you all know, students, fiscal policy is the maintenance of income and expenditure of the government. So the major income is tax. So major expenditure, it may be subsidies, construction of roads, bridges. Coming to monetary policy, it is controlled by RBI through government, but fiscal policy is controlled by government. So if COVID was an economic problem, we can tell that lockdown was an economic policy identified by an economist. So due to pandemic situation, so if you take an example coming to monetary policy, again monetary policy is maintained by RBI. So governor in first wave of COVID students, so what did he told? So for the EMIs, early monthly installment, equity monthly installment, sorry. So overall paying, there will be a concession given to them for 3 to 4 months due to this pandemic situation. So that was an economic policy, that was a solution for the economic problem. So in the same way, students, you also need to identify the problem, study the problem, and provide the suggestion or solution to your project. So how to find a solution to this problem is a big question now. So here your sequence starts. What I told, right? Project is a task done under sequence to attain an output. So what is the first step? That is a big question. Yes, sir.
Please, once you can make sure, still the video is not clear. That much.
Video is not clear, sir.
Video. Little bit.
So is it okay now, sir?
Now it is okay. Yes, participants.
So ask for others, sir, is it okay or?
Yes, any participants?
Sir, letters writing in board is not clearly visible.
Yes, if it is possible, please switch off your room light.
Sir?
Please, you can switch off your room light.
Okay.
Once.
Sir, shall I continue, sir?
Now is it okay, participants?
Yeah, Ranga, please continue, Baba.
Ma'am?
Yes, continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Pa.
Okay. So identify the problem. So just I gave you an example, students, where economic fact can be how the economic fact is converted to economic data and identify the economic problem, and the solution is given to as economic policy. But coming to here, when you are identifying the problem, how to identify the problem? So students, now I identify the problem, I being a PG student. So coming to commerce. Okay, students, just speak let us have a discussion about the basic meaning of commerce. Yes, commerce is aids to trade or auxiliaries to trade. So banking, finance, insurance, transportation. Yes, transportation is one of the major auxiliaries to trade. So without transportation, the goods cannot be transformed from the place of producer to the place of consumer. So if the goods needs to be moved from the place of producer to the consumer, this auxiliary to trade, that is transportation, is very much important. So reaching at the right time, the right place is very, very important to meet the demand of the consumer. So here both producer and consumer, the main motto of producer is to maximize his profit. The main motto of consumer is to satisfy his want. So this both can be done when this goods has been transferred from the place of producer to the consumer at the right time, at the right place. So Coming to transportation, so there is a great revenue generated through transportation to our government. So most of the commercial vehicles and other personal vehicles uses national highway, right? NH4 or national highway to have a smooth flow of the vehicles and to reach the goods at particular time at particular place. So at this time, when the goods is being transferred from the place of producer to consumer at the toll points. Okay, coming to the toll points. Okay, we the general people, why we going to use national highways? Because the road is smoother. We can go as fast as possible when compared to other roads. This is why we use national highways, and for that concession we are going to pay some amount in tolls. But when the commercial vehicles or the other personal vehicles are traveling these through these roads, okay, when they are spending a lot of time, they're spending a lot of time at the toll points. Right, students? So we have been observed that most of the vehicles have been standing for more number of time. There is yes, ma'am.
No, please continue.
Ma'am, I didn't get you.
Please continue.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So most of the vehicles is being standing and wasting the time, and it is fuel consumption, petrol consumption. So I identified this problem. So for this problem, what is the solution? That was my big question. So why the vehicles has been standing and spending most of the time at the toll points, and they're not able to reach at the particular time at the particular place. They're not able to do it, as they're wasting their time standing in toll points. So for me, the answer was FASTag. FASTag. So what is FASTag? FASTag is an electronic toll collection system. So FASTag comes under electronic toll collection system, that is ETC. Electronic toll collection system. So now most of the people have gone through what is FASTag. So you may have seen, students. So most of the vehicles will be passing through the toll points. So on the car they will be having a label of FASTag. So they need to charge or put some balance in the FASTag account. RFID technology, radio frequency identification technology. What happens? Automatically the amount, right, gets deducted from the particular account. Okay, car number register agirutte. The car number will be registered to the FASTag. I'll tell you about FASTag, what is the procedure for FASTag later. So let's just understand what was my problem and how did I identify the solution for the problem. So I will elaborate and tell what is statement of problem, my project, everything, students. Okay, later on I'll share the screen and let you know. So now just understand. Yes, FASTag was a solution for this problem. Okay. So using FASTag, what happens? There is no time spent to give the money or standing in queues. So automatically the amount gets deducted through RFID technology and the vehicles will be passing smoothly to toll points without any time consumption. So, but yes, FASTag was a solution, but there was no awareness regarding FASTag at that particular time in 2019 when I started this project. Okay, most of my friends, when I told in the class that yes, I am doing the project named FASTag, they told, what is that? They were not knowing what is FASTag. Again, I identified another problem. Yes, there is a lack of awareness created in FASTag. Again, that was a problem. So students, what I told now was the statement of problem. Okay, yes, the first statement of problem was the vehicles who use national highways or national roads for smooth flow were standing and time consuming, was fuel consuming. So they were wasting their time at standing at toll points. Right? Excuse me. Okay. They're wasting their time at toll points. So this was the problem identified again. So this was the one statement of problem, students. Yes, first one was the vehicles were time consuming, they were standing at toll points and it lead to fuel consumption. So fuel consumption ಏನಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಕಾರು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಟೈಮ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ರೆಕ್ಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಗ್ ಅಂತ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬಂತು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಗ್ ಅಂತ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಾವು ಎಸ್ ವೆದರ್ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಗ್ has a great awareness or not, it has awareness or not. No, there was no awareness about fast tag at that particular time. So only commercial vehicles, so commercial vehicles who indulge their transportation in an economic activity were only knowing about fast tag, but coming to personal vehicles like us, they were not knowing about fast tag. So again, this was the second problem. And the third problem identified was, yes, this fast tag, as it is a mode of digitalization for our economy. Again, under the assistance of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, what happened? This fast tag was a promotion for our digitalization, that is cashless economy. So students, how did this fast tag solve the problem of queue under toll system? So this was the first problem. And again, whether there was an awareness or not. So what was the level of awareness in fast tag? And one more problem was, did this fast tag promote our cashless economy? Again, this was the one question. So this was the three major problems I identified while studying this project. Right, students? Okay. So whether this fast tag promoted towards a cashless economy. So as you all know, we are marching towards our cashless economy. Right, students, after demonetization, after the introduction of GST, that is GST network and GST council, so we are slowly marching towards cashless economy. Again, this fast tag reacted as a sustainable development. Okay, sustainable development to our economy in terms of transportation and cashless economy. So what is sustainable development, students? Okay, so we need to sacrifice our wants now, the present generation, for the future generation. So what well can we do for the future generation now itself from us, that is the present generation. So students, so I named the title as use of fast tag promoting towards cashless economy. Did the use of fast tag really promoted our cashless economy? I limited my study to a study on select toll plaza, Bangalore. Okay, students. So this was the thing. So now, first step, yes, you identified the problem. So this was the problem. So this was my statement of problem, students. Next, coming to scope of study. Yes, my scope was whether the fast tag is really promoting towards cashless economy. And my limitations was limitation of study. So the limitation of study was, I selected one toll plaza of Bangalore, that is Navaiva toll near Nelmangala. Okay, friends, I selected only one toll plaza and studied all the traffic and revenue report and went through how the fast tag is promoting towards our cashless economy. So after identifying the problem, I told you, students, while identifying the problem, the fact needs to be converted into data. Okay, then only you can identify the problem. First, there should be a fact. The fact was, yes, there is a problem in toll points. So how many number of vehicles were wasting their time? So what number of time were they wasting? So this was converted into data again. So how did I come to know this, students? By first step, after identifying the problem. So the first step was identifying the problem. After identifying the problem, you need to start to collect the data. Okay, please keep in your mind, don't start with your introduction without your collecting the data. First collect the data. So first one was, after identifying the problem, So this is the first step. Next one, collection of data. We need to collect the data. Right. So what is collection of data? What are the modes to collect the data? Okay, there are two sources to collect the data. First one is primary data, and the second one is secondary data. Okay, primary data, and the second one is secondary data. Yes, students, this is very important to you now. Please focus. What is this primary data? What is this secondary data? You can use both these sources to identify your problem and provide a solution for it. So coming to primary data, the major modes to collect the primary data. First one is personal interviews. Okay, first one is personal interview. Next one is mailing questionnaire. And the next one is telephone. So these are the three major things by collecting the primary data on three major modes. That is, first one is personal interview, mailing questionnaire, and telephone. So friends, coming to this personal interview, what is this personal interview? You need to know about the students. Okay, so now I wanted the data regarding the awareness level of FASTag and whether it is really promoting towards our cashless economy, and how many people are using FASTag. When I will come to know, yes, there is awareness regarding FASTag, the number of users for FASTag. So what is my targeted customer, students? First one, the targeted respondents. Sorry, the targeted respondents is, first the respondent has to use, he should own a car. First he should own a car. Okay, so the person who owns a car can have a FASTag, right? Then he can access through FASTag. So when preparing personal interview, what is personal interview? A personal interview is nothing but an investigator or enumerator. So what is the difference between investigator and enumerator? Who are these two? Students, you are doing the project, okay? You are finding the data, you are called as investigator. Okay, if you appoint a separate person to access the data or collect the information from the respondents by asking the questions orally, okay, that person will be called as enumerator. So this enumerator will be trained by this investigator to ask what sort of questions to those respondents. Right, students? Now let us discuss what are the advantages and disadvantages of personal interview. So what are the major advantages and disadvantages of personal interview? So can anyone tell me, students, what are the advantages of personal interview? So if you go for personal interview, so personal interview is nothing but if I want to seek responses from the respondents, what I would have done, I would have gone to the toll points. So car bartidre car na park ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಗ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಸೊ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಗ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ? ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಗ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? So yes, students, can let me know what are the advantages of personal interview? Okay, so students, first one we can tell personal contact is being made between the respondents. Yes, there is a personal contact. As the investigator or enumerator will go to the place of the respondent, he will be having the personal contact with the respondent. And second thing, he can have the chat, right? The interviewer has the opportunity of explaining the study and answering all the questions of the respondents. So when you're going with, we can get more information. Yes, one is we can go to Sumitra. Okay, yes, So the interviewer has the opportunity of explaining the study and answering any questions. Yes, right, students. So when you are moving to the respondent, you can tell about your study and answer the questions. So many of the respondents may not be knowing about FASTag. We can first tell about the FASTag, your project, and then and then start to ask the questions. The next one is the interviewer can request the respondent to expand all the answers that are particularly important. So for me, the important question was awareness level of FASTag. So I had inferred that high, moderate, low. So this was the important question for me. So when I'm going to personal interview, if I'm asking this question, I will stress out this question and I will tell the respondent to speak more about this question. Right, students? You can do this. So these are all the advantages when you can go to personal interview. Next one, misinterpretation and misunderstanding between the investigator and the respondent can be removed. There will be no misunderstanding between the investigator and the respondent. So what are the doubts can be easily clarified between investigator and the respondents, as they will be having a personal contact. And next one, students, yes, the response rate will be higher. So there will be no chances to neglect those personal interviews. Okay, when you're telling the setting, when you're asking the questions, yes, they will be answering to your questions. And next one, watching the facial expressions of the respondents can provide supplementary information. Right, students? So when there is a personal contact, when there is a facial expression, so ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಸರ್ ಫಾಸ್ಟಾಗ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಫಾಸ್ಟಾಗ್ if they tell, okay, I'll come to know that yes, they don't know about FASTag. So what will I do, students? I will tell about FASTag. So this is the procedure I tell them. Then I will take the answers from that particular respondent. So these are all some of the advantages you need to know when you are conducting or when you are using this mode, that is personal interview. So now, what may be the disadvantages? What may be the disadvantages in using the personal interview? So after knowing the advantages, it may be easy to list out some of the disadvantages. This first one is
more time consuming.
okay, more time consuming. Very good. Yes, it takes time as we need to spend more number of time with a particular respondent. Okay, next one. I got 1 point. Okay, friends, we can tell that this method is expensive as it requires trained interviewers. Right? It is a bit expensive. Okay. If see, students, you being an investigator, you cannot cover all the places and all the respondents you alone. So you need to appoint some enumerators. You need to train them. You need to tell about your study. So you need to pay for them for that work done by the enumerator. Again, it is a bit expensive. So you can tell this as an disadvantage. So students, there is another disadvantage that the interviewer can influence the respondent in personal interview. Right? Will you accept it? Yes, you can influence. As fast as like this, like that. I can tell the respondent and he can tell yes, it can be done. So this is called as influencing the respondent. So this is one of the disadvantage and the personal interview. So friends, I hope you are clear with this personal interview. So you can use this mode while collecting the primary data. First, what is primary data, students? I forgot to tell. Primary data is the main source. It is the first source. Okay. So now if I ask and arrange a session here and ask who is your favorite hero? Okay, Darshan, Yash or Sudeep. Okay, if the respondents tell that most of the 37, so there are 70 participants here. So 70 participants, 40 participants will tell Yash. Okay, 10 participants will tell Darshan, and other 10 participants will tell some other hero. So the data collected now from you is known as primary data. It is the fresh data. Okay, students. So if the data used, the same data, if it is used by another person, okay, it is known as secondary data. So we'll discuss about secondary data later. So primary data is nothing but the fresh data, the first data. So the first research we can call it. So these are some of the personal interview advantages and disadvantages. Coming to this part, students, mailing questionnaire. This is very, very important. So most of the students, okay. So most of the students, you the PG students were constructing the project, were starting the project. Okay. So what will you do? You are going to prepare the questionnaire. So most of the students are going to use Google Forms. Right, students? Mailing questionnaire. So you will mail the questionnaire to your respondents and you will seek those responses. So technology has grown faster now. So what may be the advantages? So students, you have already gone through what are the advantages of personal interview. Now coming to mailing questionnaire, what may be the advantages of mailing questionnaire? Yes, students, can anyone? What are the advantages of mailing questionnaire? So many of the students will be going with mailing questionnaire. I know that. So you are going to use Google Forms. The Google Forms will be created. You are going to share in your classroom groups or to your friends, and you are going to seek responses. So what is the advantage in using this mode than personal interview? How can you compare personal interview with mailing questionnaire? So students, here when speaking about personal interview, you need to appoint an enumerator and you need to pay for the enumerator. So the middleman of enumerator will be eliminated in mailing questionnaire. Right, students? You can directly send the mail by using the technology through WhatsApp or your email ID and seek the response. So it is less expensive when compared to personal interview. It is very less expensive. It doesn't cost too much. Right, students? So first advantage we can tell it is less expensive. Second one, this method can be widely used where the area of investigation is large. So students, when your investigation is large, I mean the population which you are being choose to conduct and survey, to conduct and research. Okay, if the targeted population is too high, you cannot go with personal interview, students. You need to go with mailing questionnaire. Because we cannot reach the more number of respondents only through personal interview. So here, easily through mailing questionnaire, you can easily go about 100 to 200 responses with your Google Forms. Right, students? And this method does not allow influencing of the respondents by the interviewer. So students, when we spoke about the disadvantage in personal interview, those disadvantages will be the advantage for mailing questionnaire. So I told you in personal interview, what happens? I may influence the respondent, but that cannot be done in mailing questionnaire. Right? And next one, the data collected by this method will be more reliable, and this method provides sufficient time to give correct answers to the respondent. Once you send the mail, okay, the respondent will go through the mail, okay, he will read it properly, and he will give his correct response. Right, students? So coming to disadvantages. So what are the excuse me. So students, what may be some of the disadvantages of mailing questionnaire? So students, again, there is a less opportunity to clarification of doubts. When you are having the personal interview, whatever the doubts of the respondent can be clarified by the interviewer, but the same thing cannot be done in mailing questionnaire. When the mail has been sent, the respondent will see it. If he is having doubts also, according to his doubts, he will give his response and he will send back it. Okay, this is the first disadvantage in mailing questionnaire. Okay, second one, there is a low response rate. Right, friends, if you are sharing, you will share in WhatsApp group, you will share to your friends. So some of the friends may not respond to your questionnaire or respond to your mail. You need to follow up them. Please respond. Okay, so this may be also happen. The response rate will be lesser when compared to personal interview. Right, students? And this method cannot be used if the respondents are illiterate. Please keep in this mind, students. Okay, so if you are doing a project, the only literates, if you are using this method, that is mailing questionnaire, the literate, who is literate students? The person who knows to read and write any particular language. Okay, if coming to English, okay, if the person knows to read and write that particular language, English is called as an literate. So the mailing questionnaire can only be accessed to literate, not an illiterate. And next one, in case of no responses, as follow-up has to be done, and facial expressions cannot be observed. Again, this can be compared with personal interview again, students. So in personal interview, yes, the facial expressions can be accessed. Through facial expressions, we were able to find out what is the expected question from the respondent. But here in mailing questionnaire, it cannot be done. So students, coming to this questionnaire now, how to prepare this questionnaire is a big question. So what is questionnaire? So students, I hope in the last session when Gautam sir discussed, okay, he may have told about questionnaire. How should the questionnaire be? Right? So students, I would like to. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Be with me forever, John.
Yeah, please unmute Gagan. Everybody's. Gagan, please unmute. No, mute them. Yeah. Ranga, please carry on. Darshan, carry on.
Yes, ma'am. Shall I carry on, ma'am?
Please carry on.
Okay, okay, thank you. So, coming to this questionnaire, how should the questionnaire be prepared? Okay, students, I was just going to discuss some of the good characteristics of questionnaire. So, what are the points you need to keep in your mind while preparing the questionnaire? So, students, first one, please make a note. The questionnaire should not be too long. Okay, if you are stating a question, the question should not be too long. It should be simple, it should be easier, and it should be, the number of questions should be as minimum as possible. So students, when I was preparing a questionnaire with the help of ma'am, I just had 15 questions. I mean 15 specific questions related to the topic. So how to start? So students, first there should be a general questions, then you need to move on to the specific questions. So sir, what is general questions? What is specific questions? So the general questions are related to the information of the respondents. It may be name, age, okay, whether you are a FASTag user, whether you have a car. So these are the general questions that can be asked to the respondent. When coming to the specific questions, okay, again I told you students, awareness level of use of FASTag. These are all the specific questions. I will show you my questionnaire later on. So first one, students, keep in your mind the questionnaire should be simple and you should have less number of questions. Okay, go for 15 or 16 questions. It's more than enough. Okay, I'm speaking only about specific questions. Okay, ma'am will guide you about that. And the second one is the questionnaire should be easy to understand and avoid difficult words. Okay, students, you need to use simple words while preparing the questionnaire. Don't use difficult English words which leads to misinterpretation by the respondent. Okay, students, have these 2 points. Next one, the questions should be arranged in order such that person answering should feel comfortable. Okay, so if you go through my questionnaire, you'll come to know. The series of questions should move from general to specific. Yes, this is the question. So these are some of the key points you need to keep in your mind while preparing the questionnaire, students. So let us go for a good question and a poor question. How the poor question will be, how the good question will be. So students, I'm telling the poor question now. There is a survey done on electricity charges. Let us hope. Okay. So the question is increase in electricity charges justified? Is increase in electricity charges justified? Okay, so this is called as a poor question. You can easily ask this question as, is the electricity supply in your locality regular? A simple question. Okay, is the electricity supply in your locality regular? So student, next one, the question should be precise and clear, the telling. So how it should be clear? So again, so clear ಆಗಿರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು poor question ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು good question ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ. So poor question, what percentage of income do you spend on clothing in order to look presentable? Okay friends, please I will repeat it. What percentage of your income do you spend on clothing in order to look presentable? So students, this can be easily asked as, what percentage of your income do you spend on clothing? Yeah. What percentage of your income do you spend on clothing? That's it. Okay, students, coming to other things, it should be clear. Okay, it should not be difficult words, I told you. Okay, so most of the questions you need to know when to use open-ended and when to use close-ended. So students, what is open-ended question and what is close-ended question? Okay, for example, if you take name, okay, for name you cannot give options, students. Okay, name, whether your name is Darshan, like this you cannot give. So name is an open-ended question. So students, if you want to know the respondent age, what is the age of the respondent? If you want to know. So I can give 18 to 30, 30 to 50, 50 to 70, like this. So what are the age of the respondents as you require? You can give the options. So this type of question is known as close-ended question. So students, for all those questions, it is better to use close-ended questions because it will be easy to access those responses from those respondents. So if you give an open-ended question for age, it will be very difficult to access the information from the respondent students. Okay, and other thing they're selling, the characteristics of good questionnaire is don't use a double negatives while framing the question. So what is double negative? Okay, students. So double negative is nothing but don't you. Okay, students, don't ask the question. Don't start the question from don't. Take for an example, don't you think smoking should be prohibited? Should be. So don't you think that need answer okay, question only about the answer will be. So what should you tell? Good question is, do you think smoking should be prohibited? That should be a question. Okay, students, clear. So these are the some of the things what it be. What are the important characteristics while preparing the questionnaire? We discussed the advantages and disadvantages of questionnaire. So next one is telephone interview, students. So this mode of data collection is rare in nature. So telephone interview, you can call to the respondents and seek the responses from the respondents. So what may be the advantage in telephone interview, students, when compared to personal interview and mailing questionnaire? Students, first one, this method is cheaper than personal interview. And next one, this method can be conducted in a shorter time. This method allows the interviewer to help the respondents by clarifying the question. So students, I'm just reading it out as we already have discussed this advantages and disadvantages in personal interview and mailing questionnaire. So you can just apply what are the merits. And relatively high response rate, less manpower is needed. So this is the merits. So students, most of the respondents or interviewer or investigators will not prefer this method, that is telephone interview. They go with this personal interview or questionnaire. So being the PG students always prefer this mailing questionnaire. So this is why I discussed what are the modes to collect the primary data. Please go with primary data. After identifying the problem, please have the responses. Okay. So students, while running an Excel sheet, actually what happened when we were doing the project, I collected only about 64 responses, students. Okay, 64 responses at that time. So we are not still knowing about what. So ma'am helped us out to reach these 64 responses and how to frame the questions. But to run an statistical tool, okay, students, I will be telling when the identification problem has to be provided and suggestion or solution, you need to use statistics beyond that, and the beyond that you need to use statistics. Statistics means you need to use statistical tools. Okay, so probably about you require 384 responses. If I'm right, okay, 384 responses to run a statistical tool in the Excel sheet. Okay, so I will be telling this about you. Okay, in health time. Okay, 384 responses. So for PG level, if you go with just the 64 responses and take those data and analyze, and if you interpret, it's more than enough. So according to me. So why did I tell this 384 responses? Because when you complete your BCom, or sorry, MCom, and you're going for further studies and you're doing some research papers, you need to know about this. So you need to have minimum 384 responses for your research paper, and you need to run a statistical tool, the advanced statistical tools like ANOVA, MANOVA students. Okay, you'll come to know later. So this is all about primary data. So coming to secondary data. So where the secondary data can be accessed. I told you what is secondary data already. So students, secondary data can be accessed through websites, newspapers, magazines, okay, Google, okay, so all these are secondary data. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೀಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಡಾಟಾ. So students, these are the steps when you are collecting the data. So students, when you are selecting your targeted respondents, when you are making a survey or when you are making a research, you need to decide what is your targeted respondents. So you know about the census, right? Census. So what is census, students? National Sample Survey Organization do this, okay? Census every 10 years. They are going to take the large population, prati obbrunu tagotare population. Okay, they will include the whole population of our country, that is India, and they'll come to know what is the actual population of our country. This is census. Okay, students. Now we cannot do this. Okay, ivaga nan FASTag anta bandre, FASTag idi India dalli yaar use ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. Okay, it is very much difficult, students. So what can I do? I will do a sample survey. I am going to select a sample. So sample is what, students? If I wanted to study about FASTag, I need to collect the information of all the toll points in our India. So if I am telling students this use of FASTag promoting towards cashless economy. So if I want to know about cashless economy, so I need to study. So what is economy, students? It's the state of our country. So if I want to know what is the state of cashless economy in our country, I need to collect the information of each and every toll points in our country. That is impossible. So students, I limited my study. I did a sample survey. Sample survey is that I selected any one toll point in Bangalore and studied about that particular information. Students, clear about collection of data now? So this was the first step, collection of data. Okay, after identifying the problem, you need to collect the data and keep, students. Okay, it may be primary data or it may be secondary data. So students, why I project madavaga, when I was doing my project, I went with Google Forms, framed 15 questions about the project, and secondary data. Coming to secondary data, students, I went to Navayuga toll. Okay, so I had a permission. I took the permission letter from NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, and I went to Navayuga toll and collected the information of traffic report and revenue report of March 2019. So friends, what is traffic report? Traffic report ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು vehicles ಒಂದು ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಆ ಟೋಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ FASTag ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. So ಯಾವ ತರ vehicles ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? So there are different sort of vehicles. It may be light motor vehicle, multi-axle vehicle. I will let you know, students. I will go to my project. Inna nan project ogade hogilla. I am just telling the basic things. Okay, what you need to know while you are starting a project. Okay, friends. So after collecting the data, you cannot just use the data and analyze and interpret it, students. So again, when I collected my data, okay, ma'am told me that go to this and collect some traffic and revenue report. Let us see what can be done to that. So I went, I collected, and I showed to ma'am. So ma'am told that ma'am didn't use the whole data, students. Full data use madilla. So what did ma'am do? She selected a certain portion. So ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದು ಏನು ಟಾಪ್ 5 ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟಾಪ್ 5 ದಿನ ಯಾವ್ದಿದೆ ನೋಡು ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 5 ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಯಾವ್ದಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಟಾಪ್ 5 ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಯಾವ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 5 ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಯಾವ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಟಾಪ್ ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪ್ ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ 5 ದಿನ ಯಾವ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಇತ್ತು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 5 ದಿನ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರಿಂದ ಇತ್ತು. So students, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದ ಹೋಲ್ ಡಾಟಾ, ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಡಿಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಡು? ಶಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ಡ್ ದ ಡಾಟಾ. Okay students, so after collecting the data, the next step is organization of data. Please take a minute. So after collecting the data, what you should do? You should organize the data. So while organizing the data, there will be a step known as loss of information, students. Please keep in your mind. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಡಾಟಾ ನೀವು ಏನು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಡಾಟಾ ತಕ್ಕಂಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So what did I organize, students? So according to ascending order, top 5 and least 5. I selected the revenue report. Okay, using Excel, I did it. Okay, students. So this is known as organization of data. So students, while organizing the data, there are few steps. Okay, organizing is nothing but classifying the data. The organization can be called as classification of data. Okay, students. Majorly classification can be done in 4 types. So what are those? Sorry, 3 types. What are those 3 types? So students, first one is, sorry, let us this. First one is chronological classification. Students, can anyone tell me what is chronological classification? What is chronological classification? Idana madirtira. Whatever you are doing, you will do this chronological classification. Students, can anyone try this? What is chronological classification? So students, I'll read out the meaning. Just listen. The classification of data either in ascending or descending order. Students, the classification of data either in ascending or descending order with reference to time such as years, date, quarters, months, weeks, etc. is called as chronological classification. So students, what ma'am told me according to the dates madakkedru. So yaya date alli traffic report ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇತ್ತು ascending order ಅಲ್ಲಿ, yaya date alli traffic report ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇತ್ತು least 5 ಇತ್ತು select ಮಾಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. So ಆ classification ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ students. ಆ classification ನಾವು chronological classification ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Please keep in mind. Okay students, next one is spatial classification. Spatial classification. So what is this spatial classification? So students, can anyone? What is spatial classification? Okay students, spatial classification, please make a note. Classification of data on the basis of geographical location such as countries, states, cities. Okay, this can be called as spatial classification. Okay students, so if nanenara data Bangalore toldu ondo, Chennai toldu ondo, ಅಥವಾ ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್ ಟೋಲ್ದು ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಸಿಟೀಸ್ ನಾನೇನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಡಾಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಡಾಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್? ನಾವು ಸ್ಪೇಷಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ನೀವು ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Please keep in mind chronological and the other one is spatial classification. Okay students, and the other one is qualitative classification. Qualitative classification. Students, can you answer what is qualitative classification? What is qualitative? Qualitative is nothing but it is done on attributes. What are attributes, students? Has anyone heard about attributes? Attributes is nothing but you cannot measure it. It's known as attributes. You cannot quantify it. So it is called as qualitative classification. So students, qualitative classification based on qualities or attributes such as gender, nationality, clever, beautiful. These are all known as qualitative classification. Boy, girl. Okay students, this is our qualitative classification. Okay, so Google Forms if you have 79 respondents, you will be telling male 50 respondents, female 29 respondents. That is called as qualitative classification. Please keep it. Okay students, next one is quantitative classification. Okay students, what is quantitative classification? The data which can be quantified, for example height, weight. Okay so this is known as quantitative classification. Okay, ಕೆಲವರು height ಮೇಲೆ ascending order ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರಬಹುದು, ಕೆಲವರು weight ಮೇಲೆ ascending order ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರಬಹುದು. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? Quantitative classification, right? So students, what and all I discussed now, these are the basic things when you are starting your project. First collect the data, organize the data, and then start your first chapter, that is introduction, after collecting the data. Okay students, so most of the students, what will they do? First fix the title, according to the title they will put the data. So I did the same thing. So probably first collect the data, according to that data please frame your title. It will be fantastic students. Okay, first collect the data, upon the data fix your title. So students, first work by starting your project was, first one is what? Identify the problem, identify the current scenario, and start to collect the data, both primary and secondary data. Okay students, got it? So for all the basic information students, now just I'm going to share my project. Ma'am, shall I continue with my project, ma'am? Session ಮಾಡಬಹುದು sir ಇನ್ನು?
Yes, you can.
Ma'am, can I continue, ma'am?
Yes, you can, Darshan. You can continue, Darshan, no problem.
Yes sir, I'm sharing this.
Darshan, are you facing any technical problem?
Yes sir, sorry sir, there was a technical problem. Sir, is the screen visible, sir? Excuse me, sir. Okay. So students, this was my project. So I went with introduction. Just I'm going to show. So I gave a brief introduction about the revenue system of our India. Students, coming to FASTag, so you can go to Google. So this is a general topic, so I didn't discuss more about my topic, that is FASTag. Will be all knowing. So students, coming to the second chapter, that is review of literature and research design. Yes. So students, these were all the papers I went through. And this was my statement of problem. Yes, first one is there is a lack of awareness on the use of FASTag at toll plazas. Presently, toll plazas are facing the problems like more collection period due to manual collection, long queues of vehicles leading to waste of time, fuel, unrest. And the present study intended to create awareness of FASTag among general public. The study also seeks towards the contribution of FASTag towards cashless economy. So these are the limitation. The area of study. So my study was limited only to Bangalore nearby toll collection point, that is Navaiva toll. Okay, and this was my objective of the study, to know the awareness level of use of FASTag, to study about FASTag in ETC, to know the reasons for introduction of FASTag, to evaluate the impact of FASTag for hassle-free movement of vehicles at toll points, and to know the impact of FASTag on digital economy. So this is and all we already discussed. Friends, only I am just briefing it out. So again, I will discuss primary data, secondary data, sampling, data collection, the chapter schemes. So coming to industrial profile. So students, when you're choosing, most of the students, what will they do? Yes, freelance is easy. Let us go for freelance. Okay, there is no need to go for a company, take a permission from the permission letter from a company and do a project. So students, I'm telling you, freelance projects are more challenging than the assisted projects. Okay, so here my industrial profile was Ministry of Road Transport. So the FASTag was initiated with the collaboration of Ministry of Road Transport, NHAI, National Highway Transport of India. So I have stated about that, National Highway Transport of India, and the other one was National Payment Corporation of India. So students, whatever the payment done, okay, by the people to FASTag is done through National Payment Corporation of India. Okay, so the banks has been attached. There is Axis Bank FASTag, SBI FASTag. There are more and more. Okay, so it's the process. Coming to data analysis and interpretation. Yes, students, this is very, very important. So first one, primary data. So students, observe carefully. So demographic profile of the respondents. I started with general questions. Those are my general questions. Table showing age of the respondents. So I selected from 18 to 30, 31 to 50, above 50 years. So this for the respondents. So students, now, well, after accepting the responses from the Google Forms, so you will be having a doubt what is the difference between analysis and interpretation, right? So what is the actual difference between analysis and interpretation? Analysis is nothing but, okay, students, you will just write what is there in the table. You're just analyzing it. Okay, so this is the thing and this is the test. Okay, interpretation is what may be the reason for this numericals. Okay, so let us go to the specific questions and understand. Yes, so specific question starts from here. So first question was, FASTag is a tool for electronic toll collection system. Yes, FASTag is a tool. So the scale kottidvi navu idana Likert scale model anta karitare, if I am not right. Okay, ma'am has taught us strongly agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. Okay, so the respondents, the total was 64 respondents. Okay, 25 had strongly agree, yes, FASTag is a tool. 28 has agreed, 8 are still in neutral, and 3 have disagreed. So students, observe the analysis here. In the above table, it shows that out of 64 respondents, 28 of them agreed that FASTag is a tool for electronic toll collection system. Only 3 respondents strongly disagreed that FASTag is not a tool for electronic toll collection system. So students, ನಾನು first strongly agree ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು 28 ಜನ ಆಯ್ತು ಅದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ strongly disagree ಬರೀ 3 ಜನ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಟೇಬಲ್ ಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, From the above pie chart, we can analyze that among 64 respondents, 43.8 agreed, 39% strongly agree the FASTag is too far. Agree mate strongly agree. Just percentage there. Only 4.7% is the our statement. We can interpret that FASTag is one of the effective tools. So students, this was the question. So see my question, students. Table showing the ranking of technologies preferred to be used in FASTag. So students, the preferred technology was RFID, radio frequency identification technology. So students, if you go to Wonderla, in Wonderla they will give a belt. So you can keep your clothes in the locker and you can use that watch to open those doors. Okay, that is also radio frequency identification technology. Yes, students, this is my data interpretation. I'm just showing the questions. Table showing respondents preferred to electronic toll collection system, which is also that is Book My Toll. Okay, FASTag and Book My Toll. So the major thing was FASTag. 35 respondents accepted for FASTag. Again, this analysis and interpretation. So students, this is just the I don't have enough time. So I'll be going with secondary data, students. I'll be showing the secondary data. Students, coming to secondary data here. Yes. Excuse me, students. Yes, students, observe. Based on toll traffic and revenue report of March 2019 from November toll for the vehicles passed through FASTag lane for single journey. Okay, so which are the vehicles passed for single journey? We have taken a data. So table 16, that is table showing the top 5 traffic report of car. So the top 5, see students, the dates. It was highest on 33/2019. Okay, the most of the cars, I mean personal vehicles, had passed on 33/2019. That is 1,412 cars. That is personal cars. So students, I interpreted the reason. So Saturday being a weekend, so most of the cars have been passed through the FASTag line. This was the interpretation given by me. Okay, students. Again, coming to table showing the top 5 traffic report of LCV, light commercial vehicle. Appe gaadi anta karidare students. You noted that. Okay, adana light commercial vehicle anta karidare. Adu bandu commercial vehicle, when I interpreted students, when I analyzed it, it was only on Tuesday. Okay, the light commercial vehicle was more in number on Tuesday because as the movement of personal vehicles will be less on the weekday, that is Monday or Tuesday. So what will the commercial vehicles do? They will access their transportation only on the weekdays, not on weekends. So only we can tell the commercial vehicles will be passed more on Tuesday. Okay, friends. So these are all my secondary data. Yes, friends. I'll move on to the findings and suggestions. That is very, very important. So I've already told you what and all we did, what and all, how we organize the data. So this is very, very important, students. What you'll give your findings and suggestions. So findings is that the respondents who opined their views, 62 of them belong to the age group of 18 to 30. Out of 64 respondents, 34 are male and 30 are female. Just you can brief it out, students. These are all your findings. Just how many percentage strongly agreed or how many respondents strongly disagreed. So, but coming to suggestions, okay, students, please go through the suggestions. With the collaboration of Ministry of Road Transport, NHAI and National Payment Corporation of India, government took initiative that from 1/12/2018, all new cars should compulsory get registered with FASTag. According to my study, government should bring a mandatory rule that all white code and yellow board cars should get registered with FASTag, which acts as an effective tool to create awareness among general public. So students, when I was studying the project, so the FASTag was not compulsory to each and every vehicle. Okay, so I suggested that yes, it should be compulsory. So after in about 2019, 2020 starting students, the rule came that for each and every vehicle's FASTag is compulsory. Okay, after 2018. So nowadays, majority of the public are accessing their payments through payments app. Paytm takes an initiative for payment of FASTag. Students in Paytm, in PhonePe also can access FASTag, but PhonePe in install agrilav FASTag now matadaga. Other payments apps like Google Pay and PhonePe, Beam should take initiative, access people payments for FASTag through their applications. Students, later on, payment PhonePe, Google Pay also initiated FASTag. According to my study, FASTag is used more in number by commercial vehicles, right? So this was again my analysis. So actually commercial vehicles just use multiple. So the personal vehicles were not using. So NHA has to see the common public should access through FASTag whenever they pass through the toll points. Next one, FASTag should be installed to the car and MAV at the time of service for free initially and aware users about it. It should be done by automobile manufacturers, provided government should introduce to automobile industry. Other students, whenever the car is purchased, okay, car na purchase ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ FASTag na ಕೊಟ್ಟು car na purchase ಮಾಡುವಂತ facility ಇರಬೇಕು automobile sector ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು suggestion ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಿ. So yes, again, if you go and purchase a new car now, you need to take FASTag along with the new car students. Okay. FASTag should be promoted through various modes of advertisement. Government to see the toilets has to be constructed in all the toll. For all the suggestions according to me, which I had given. So coming to the concluding part, students. Yes, for the sustainable development. Okay, the sustainable development goals, otherwise known as global goals, are universal call to action and end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity. So I would like to conclude. Students, using FASTag. See, FASTag, as per my study, the problem is their lack of awareness level of use of FASTag among general public. So, ನಾನು ಯಾವ ತರ conclude ಮಾಡಿದೆ students, yes, I found out that there was a lack of awareness, and amount is collected electronically. There is hassle-free movement of vehicles. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು risk ಇಲ್ಲದೆ vehicles move ಆಗ್ತದೆ toll points ಅಲ್ಲಿ without standing for long number of time. And through toll points, it enormously contributing towards cashless economy. Recent initiatives like in petrol banks, FASTag registration stalls are setting to access their operations in the future days. Hey students, petrol banks, but the insurance companies, well, having insurance for the vehicles, they have been advertising for FASTag. Ivalu new toll points hatra pass ಆಗ್ತದ್ರೆ side ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಟೆಂಟ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ FASTag ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So this can be done ಅಂತ ನಾನು conclude ಮಾಡಿದೆ. Again, for the sustainable development and marching towards our cashless economy, FASTag plays a prominent role in the transportation sector, students. Okay, so this was all about my project. Ma'am, yes ma'am, any questions ma'am?
There will be a session.
Yes ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Now there will be a question and answer forum. Participants, if you have any questions, kindly post your questions in chat box.
So students, I hope you understood something about how to prepare a project. Okay, so I felt that I may be a bit fast while summarizing my project. So as I explained all the things before itself, then a project also ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ನಾನು ಕೆಲವು aspects explain ಮಾಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಬ್ರೀಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದೆ. So students, first thing, while preparing the project, first try to identify the problem. Go for current trends topics. Okay, take the assistance of ma'am. Okay, don't please go with your senior project students. Okay, take the reference of your seniors projects. Okay, and just plan your ways to construct the project. Okay, use the resource of ma'am properly. Like me, ask ma'am how I was using ma'am and try to observe all the things from ma'am students and do a good project. Okay, so whenever, see, without preparing, when ma'am asks us to come and speak about our project, we are able to speak for 1.5 hours, 2 hours only because we love to do our project, students. Okay, we learned how to do it. So don't just do for the sake of marks. For 200 marks, we need to promote for MCOM. Don't do like that, students. Okay. Take your time. Okay. When you're starting the project, fourth sem, don't start to have your project in fourth sem. You need to start from third sem itself or first year itself. Okay. Go to commerce department, take economics time paper, business line paper, have a conversation with ma'am. Okay. You will get the topics. Okay. You can identify the problem and you can select the topics easily, students. This is what we were doing. We are going to commerce department. It was like a library for us. Okay. We used to chat with ma'am and Kitu sir. The session is open for question and answer session. If you have any question, please chat. Okay. Students, so this was, thank you ma'am for giving me a wonderful opportunity. So I hope I shared my things, what it all I learned. So I may have left some of the points, but yes, whatever I remembered and whatever I learned, I did to my best, I hope. So thank you, Kitu sir, and thank you, ma'am. So thanks a lot, ma'am.
Okay, you did extremely
Thank
well.
you, sir.
Your presentation was excellent.
Yes, ma'am.
1 minute over 2 minutes.
Okay, ma'am. So students, so this is my advice. So with the batch who passed out in 2019, we missed our college, we missed ma'am, we missed sir, so we still go to ma'am and learn new things. So we are paying a lot of fees, especially in Kelly College, okay, for the seat, management seat. Okay, students, please make use of it. Okay, go and learn. Okay, MCOM is nothing but just studying. It is not like BCom students. Okay, just studying and going paper. The paper pattern will be different. The way of asking the questions will be different. When you are conceptually understanding the concept, then only you can attain those questions. So if you have learned MCOM properly, okay, with thorough understanding, then only we can tell you have learned commerce. Until then, you have not learned commerce. Okay, so this is my perception. So thank you, ma'am. I am ending this session. Any doubts or anything?
Yeah, students, please ask any questions to Darshan. Yes,
So my presentation was a bit different. So I went, how will I explain to the students in the same way, ma'am? So I didn't use PPT. So I need to go to the students level and just as a friend, I spoke with them. So what can be done?
Yeah, extremely good it was.
Yes.
And
Okay, ma'am.
we feel you are have the passion for teaching. Your teaching style is very good.
Okay.
Very nice.
Okay, friends, I hope you understood and you learned something from this session. Okay, so if you have any questions, go to ma'am and take her advice. Okay, start working on the project. So when should they start their project, ma'am? By this
Already
month?
started.
Already started. Okay. Already started. So students, if you want to, some of the students may be searching the topics. So what topics should we do? Okay, if you want to know about topics, read newspapers. Go to ma'am, sit and read newspapers with her, take the knowledge of her and discuss the concepts with ma'am. Okay, students, you will easily get the topics. Okay, we did about, our batch did about FASTag, we did about e-way bill, we did about insolvency and bankruptcy code, anti-profiteering clause. Our batch did current trend students. So the same thing should be happen each and every year. So each and every year commerce will be updating. So go on presenting with the current trends. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now I call upon Vaishnavi to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, Yashaswini. Good afternoon to today. I use this wonderful opportunity to put my Nijlingappa College, Department of PG Studies in Commerce and Research Center. I would like to thank Mr. Darshan D. Rangnath for this informative webinar. Thank you, sir. I thank our respected principal, Dr. Arun Kumar B. Sonap, Mahananda B. Chittavadagi, ma'am, IQAC and MCOM coordinator, who gave us an excellent support and stands our. Thank you, ma'am. I thank Dr. C.V. Koppatsa, HOD Department of Commerce, and Ms. Thank all the faculties and participants. Thank you all.
Shane, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you,
Okay,
Vaishnavi. Link for the feedback